Hey everybody! Hi! So this video is kind of a part 2 or continuation of a video I just made wearing the same outfit, which was about creating space between your thoughts and emotions and yourself. And that was about helping you to feel and think things rather than to be those thoughts and be those feelings. And went into meditation and the like a little bit. So this video, I want to talk about how you can use cultivating that space via mindfulness, meditation, whatever method you prefer, to connect to everything around you and to start shifting out of that competitive comparison paradigm way of thinking. So, I am a person who has a history of being really insecure. So, I used to not be very creative, or I had a lot of creative ideas sometimes, or maybe I wrote poetry and all of that, but I was really depressed. I had very, very low self-confidence. And this is in, the majority of my life. I've not felt that way for a while, but definitely consumed me for many years of my life. So I still have that kind of built up pattern of feeling that way, being insecure. When you are insecure and you see somebody who's doing something inspiring, a lot of the time what your brain does is it almost views it automatically as a threat. It's another reason to be pissed off at yourself that you're not doing that. I think probably in the Bible when one of the commandments is, and this is kind of goofy, but thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, or covet anything that belongeth to thy neighbor. I think that one of the basic ideas behind that is that's whenever you're coveting, it's kind of coming from this place, it's coming from this low vibrational place. It's coming from this very negative based thinking where you have an option to either go towards inspiration or to go towards that negative, coveting, being jealous, makes you more insecure. So, lately, I have seen I'm getting inspired more and more, and I can see in all of these situations where people are doing inspirational things. In the past, I would have used it as a way to beat myself up for not doing that thing, and then B, I wouldn't fully be able to appreciate that. Being jealous, you can say that that's a way of complimenting somebody. It's not really, because the intention behind it is there's that little part of you that's just oh, I just want to tear that person down. I want to take him down a peg. And it's because you want to, you're here vibrationally. You can see somebody who's up here, and instead of being oh, I want to match that frequency, I want to get up here with them and play, instead you're I want to bring them down. I want them to be down here because I feel shitty and I want them to feel shitty. It's not oh, they feel good and I want to feel good too. So a good way to start transforming that insecurity into inspiration is by using mindfulness, by cultivating that space I was talking about in my last video, that little sacred, safe space between your feelings and your emotions. So I have this impulse all of the time still. I'm not at all free from it. And this is kind of going back to the thought that it isn't being, I don't think that the goal is really to be perfect or to never think thoughts that aren't, it's only really when you follow a harmful thought down the road that it's leading you towards that you get into trouble. Otherwise, you can just think oh, okay, I see the pathway that you want to lead me down, but no thank you. That's an option of what I could do, but I'm not going to take that road. I'm going to take a different road. And that is what's been happening with me lately. So I will see something that is inspiring to me, but at first it actually feels threatening, and it feels why am I not doing that? Or, oh great, now if I do that, I'm going to look like I'm copying that person. Or I'll think, why am I not already doing that? I'm talented, I'm good at that. I've messed up, I'm not doing that, and now they got to it first, and whoa, those thoughts can take your brain down some really crazy, twisted roads. But as soon as you are able to take a little bit more space, you can say, okay, I see what you're trying to do. Don't go down that road. Instead, you can see that instead of comparing yourself to people in a way that is negative, you can use competition and comparison as a totally positive thing in your life. It does not have to be negative. Instead, it's like, to me, the human soul is just this open window to endless opportunity, endless possibility. And we want to experience as many things as we can. It's just like Source is endlessly creative and curious about itself. It's always going around on these adventures trying to learn more. And we can do that sometimes by just looking at other people, seeing how they're similar, how they're different. That's actually kind of how we define ourselves, and how we find our own place in this world. By seeing, by contrast, by what we want, by what we don't want. And those things both inform one another and inform our deepest being. And so by seeing things you want and you don't want in other people, let's say you see something and you're like, I do not like that habit of hers. That's really obnoxious. Well, it's really just helping you inform your own life. It's really just reflecting back, saying, maybe that's something that I don't want to cultivate in myself. Maybe that's something that bothers me about myself. It is kind of gently bringing it back to you. And once we practice that more and more, you can start to see inspirational things for really what they are, which is helping to connect you to all of creation. And that you're not really ever copying anybody. And that's one thing that I'm really interested in sharing, because I am prone to thinking in those terms, but I'm interested in inspiring other people, but I'm constantly inspired by others. I am going to link some inspirational people to me. I have so many friends, family members, people I don't know, people on YouTube, all over the place that I watch them and I get fired up and inspired. So today, just practice that. If there's something that you see and you're like, oh, I want to do that, or I want to be that, or you look up to somebody, just try a little thought experiment. See what it feels like to liberate yourself from the idea that you should already be where they are or what they're doing. I know it's really sounds cheesy, but celebrate that unique part of yourself. That the more that you follow your own excitement, it's going to create this more authentic sense of yourself. The more that you cultivate that authentic sense of yourself, it almost creates this I almost feel like there's no failure. Yeah, you can make mistakes, but there's no failure anymore, because it's all about learning more about yourself and growing as a person. There's no more where you should be and compared to where you are. There's only just this beauty in where you are, and having it help inform your entire life and the lives of those around you. I hope that was coherent and helpful. Sending much love to all of you. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful, blessed day.